the Autobot warrior Sunstreaker, brother of Sideswipe, and I got him in this masterpiece package right here. But don't be fooled, this is a knockoff. And probably a lot cheaper than getting an actual masterpiece Sunstreaker, but we're gonna go through this very nice version of the character, even if it's not quite real, and see if it's good for your collection. Be right back. So yes, I got this particular version. It was sold to me as a knockoff. Now, recently people have said there's like embossed letters on the real ones. Well, there's embossed letters on this one, so letters and numbers. So I don't know. It also has a very shiny Lamborghini symbol, but it's supposed to have maybe a holographic sticker. There's probably some differences in the packaging, but most people will look at this and think, hey, this is a real deal. It's not a real deal. I'm not paying like 60 bucks for it. So I'm gonna go through it and we're gonna see how it stacks up quality-wise and if it's worth getting if you can't afford the real thing or even can't find it. But the packaging does look good. Ooh, I can do this. We're gonna put this on the turntable of doom. It is a Lazy Susan, but you know, turntable sounds more masculine. And you can see the packaging from all the sides. Yeah. Yes, I don't know why I just said yes that way. But as we open it, you can see in here, it has instructions. It has a card, and it has Sunstreaker himself, along with some weaponry, some masks in case he wants to go to Hollywood, and Chip Chase. Yes, with his wheelchair. So kind of upside down. There you go. So if you're not familiar with Chip Chase, he was in the G1 cartoon, did not appear in the comic, but he was one human who could actually roll out with his Autobot friends. And despite the fact that he was confined to a wheelchair, he had superpowers. He could destroy diskettes. Just like that. Have you ever tried to tear up a 5 1/4 inch diskette? Yeah, it doesn't work too well. So we're gonna put Sunstreaker on the turntable of doom, but quickly let's take a look. He's got some alternative faces here, where he has, he looks pretty unhappy in that one. Like, there's a spider on my arm. And here he's smiling because he killed the spider. I am not advocating killing spiders, but they're not my favorites. There is Chip Chase in his wheelchair. Ooh, yes, superpowered genius. There is this gun, which I think is more of a tool. It may say in the instructions. He's got a bigger gun because, you know, he was feeling inadequate with the small one. And in case he wants to go to Hollywood, he's got the mask.
Zip, bam, pow, wow, what kind of director looks at a giant robot and thinks he needs to be more alien?
I don't know. Michael Bay?
In the box, sorry dude, or in the bag rather, we have the instructions, the card, here's the card. We have rear view mirrors that you can attach. I generally don't, just because they're fragile. They're alternative, I guess, rear view mirrors, because he's got some on here. But there is the card and instructions, which, if I look at, shows me that he has stuff. So this smaller gun is the electron pulse gun, whereas this is the flare gun. So he can call for help when he's at sea. And these are spare side mirrors, I guess, in case these pop off. We'll put those over there. But let's take a look at this guy in his vehicle mode, and I am curious if they're gonna show any weapon storage, which I'm not seeing any. But there he is. He is a very fine vehicle. He is a Lamborghini Countach LP5005. What that means, I don't know, but it's a model number and such. But very cool looking car. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. You can see the very nice red Autobot symbol on his hood. The chromed spoiler on the chromed engine that is visible. You can see his rear, ooh, with lots of tailpipes and these little things that look like they should be like brake lights maybe? You can see the doors, and coming back around we have headlights. Now apparently this does stuff. You can lift up the hood. Looking in there, there does not appear to be any engine. I am curious if maybe this goes in there. I don't see an easy way. I'm not gonna bother. He also has additional headlights. So not just these in front, but these pop up. These might be signal lights for all I know. I know it's a shock. I have not owned a Lamborghini, so I have not examined the front of a real Lamborghini that closely. So maybe that's the normal headlights. And the doors, those open up as well, though unlike alternators, it doesn't really reveal like a full interior. So he's got those capabilities. Well, let's take a look at him in his vehicle mode a little bit more. Let's see how he rolls. He actually rolls very nicely. Now in this mode, he is about 5 3/4 inches long. So a good length. Now just for a quick size comparison, that is the G1 version. Next to him right there, as you can see, a bit shorter and smaller. The Universe version, a little bigger than the original G1, but again, smaller. I'm sorry, this is actually the War for Cybertron Earthrise one. This is the Universe one. There we go. But similar, just a little shorter. And finally, the BotCon exclusive, which is shorter unless you count these big honking jets on its back. Then he's a little longer. This being a repaint of the Robots in Disguise Mock Alert, or Prowl in red. So a little bigger, not as big as the alternator, which I did not break out. He's in its package over there. Maybe if I get a couple more Sunstreakers, we'll do an evolution of. Yeah, very cool. Nice detailing with the windshield wiper. The bottom does not look too kibbly, does not give away the fact that this is actually a robot in disguise. So very nice. But let's take a look at the robot mode. And I will say, whereas I like Sunstreaker, he was never quite as popular as his brother. He didn't have an action master made out of him. I don't know why Sideswipe was liked more. And I think there was a problem with the mold. That's why we didn't get reissues of this guy. Ooh, stop the presses, because apparently, before we do the robot mode, you can switch around his engine and hide it, which is kind of cool. Makes him look a little more like his brother, but you can also open up these little pieces on the back and fold them under. I guess this makes him more street legal, because now he's got red brake lights and I guess turn signals in there, maybe. So very neat, I like it. So there he is, the masterpiece Sunstreaker, ready for battle and looking pretty handsome. Let's put him on the turntable of doom so you can get a shot of him spinning slowly, showing every angle. Now, one thing I do need to say about these masterpiece figures, they are very clever in their transformations. They're very cool in both modes, but when you're transforming them, if something is out of place by just a hair sometimes, it can really be frustrating. I actually found there was one little piece in the backpack that was misaligned, and that caused me problems getting that backpack, basically ready to go. So that is one frustrating part. I do have to say the War for Cybertron Siege series and the Earthrise and all those were also clever, but not nearly as much of a pain in the ass with just little itty bitty things. But he is a very handsome figure once you get him into his robot mode. One thing I did notice, it's secure now, but his windshield had a tendency to slide off where it's attached. So I would be very curious for those who actually have real Sunstreaker masterpieces, if that is the case for you, if the windshield has a tendency to slide off the little wedge thing that it's on. If not, great, but and if that's the case, that's not what's happening with the actual masterpiece. Let me fix his hips there. Then just be aware that can slide off quite a bit with this knockoff, but it may just be systemic of the mold anyway. But very handsome version. He's got the nice Autobot symbol on his chest that looks like his windshield, but it's kind of a disguise type thing, because that's not his the top of the car at all. So it's another one of those things that they did to pay homage to the robot mode. If they didn't have to do that, these probably would be much simpler transformations. So a good looking Autobot. Let's go through the posability, then we'll get to some of the accessories and take a look at some of that. So he is able to do pretty much a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now he's got a little butt plate in the back. You can see it right there. That kind of keeps him from getting fully into that mode, but still, Very, very posable in the legs. He can kick forward. He can kick back, but he runs into his little backpack. Can obviously do a nice high side kick. Bends at the knee very nicely. Can do a nice smash in the nards. He does have ankle rockers, so you can put him in a nice wide stance. Twisting at the waist. Well, first of all, let me fix his things here, because putting him in those weird poses has a tendency to mess with his little hip plates, which definitely add to the figure, but they can very easily be moved out of place. Twisting at the waist, he can do that and even show you his lower Autobot symbol that covers his ass. Arms can go all the way around very nicely. Also in the shoulders, he can actually kind of shrug back and forth. He's got some posability there. It's kind of based on some of the things in his transformation, but it does allow him some shoulder movement. And you can kind of put it down a little bit up and down. Bends at the elbow, of course, has a nice swivel. Now the fingers are articulated, but all together. They are one piece there. It has two joints, one by the knuckles and one by the base of the hand, so you can actually widen the hand and spread it out quite a bit. So you can be like, stop in the name of love. Okay, well, maybe he wouldn't do that. It's more of a jazz thing. Then again, jazz is a little more hard rocking than that. He's got these shoulder missiles, just like great homage to the G1. They can kind of move to the sides. I don't know that you'd want to do that, but good amount of articulation there. The head does turn all the way around. You can also look up quite a bit. Look, it's the Decepticons. You can look down and be like, Chip, what are you doing here? Oh, I just thought I would roll out. Got any diskettes you want me to destroy? So overall, a very posable figure. And the back basically looks like a nice jetpack. Now, I thought that Optimus would borrow Sideswipe's jetpack, but apparently Sunstreaker has one as well. A nice figure overall. Now, he does come with some weapons. This flare gun, you can pop into his hand. It's got a little slot there, so he's ready to go. He also has the his little pistol here. I forget what it said this particular gun was, but he can use that one as well. He also comes with the Hoist Goes to Hollywood mask. Hook it under his chin, pop it over his face. This is not what I signed up for. Come on, guys. Oh, wait. I'm trying to do a Sideswipe. Sunstreaker was like, guys, look at me. I'm nearly as vain as Trax. Ha! But this mask's gotta go. It is a great nod to that episode. Speaking of faces and masks, again, he does have these two additional ones. A kind of grinning face and a kind of meh. Like, I stubbed my toe type face. Now looking at this, it looks like there is a screw in the back of his head. That might be necessary to take his face off. Then he can switch places with John Travolta or Nick Cage. I don't know. I don't know, is he infiltrating the bad guys or not? Now, Chip is cool. Very small figure. You can stay over here for a minute. We're gonna let the humans take a little bit of the time. So if we zoom in on Chip, you can see it's pretty cartoon accurate. He's got his wheelchair. It's nice that they did a little homage to this character, superhero that he is. And of course it does come with additional side view mirrors. I guess you can, if these break off, they seem to be the same shape. So I guess they're just spares in case something happens. They are on a little attached piece, so you can pop it out and pop in the other one. I don't know if the original didn't have them installed and they were included, and then these guys, when they made this knockoff, decided, hey, we're gonna include it. But I think we need to zoom out a bit for this guy. But yeah, so I'm not sure what the story is with that, why they're there, but it is a cool set. Now some size comparisons real quick. Here is the War for Cybertron, and you can see them side by side, spinning around, getting dizzy. A little taller, but not quite his height, is the Generations version. A bit shorter is the G1, but still a nice homage to the original G1. And then there is the BotCon exclusive. Again, this one is the tallest of them, unless you count the alternator. The alternator's probably as big, if not bigger, I'm guessing slightly bigger. But this guy stands a full between 6 3/4 and 7 inches, somewhere in there. But a good figure, and for like 60 bucks or so. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get this guy for your collection. And just be very careful of the exacting detailed parts. But he is cool, glad I have him. He will go on the shelf with a bunch of other Sunstreakers, and eventually, who knows? I have a couple more Sunstreakers to get, and then I can do a evolution of Sunstreaker, so you can see everybody in detail. But yeah, a cool figure, I like him. Now, while you're mulling over whether you'd like to get this guy or not, we also have another video over here you can check out, which is the Masterpiece Prowl. Another cool figure, another great character. And I do hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I enjoy making them, despite the occasional frustration. And we'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.